Hey, thanks for tuning into another episode of the Unlockable podcast from Bird Dog Gaming. Today we're talking about our favorite levels from games that remind us of summer. Why? Well, because it's summer, and if you remember last December, we did an episode on our favorite winter levels, so it only made sense. Sit back, grab yourself an ice cold drink, and give us a good rating wherever you're listening to this. Let's go. Welcome back to the Unlockable podcast. I'm your host, Christian, and joining me as always is the Game Girl Advance SP herself.
Hello.
Hannah, I have to say it feels like it's been quite a while since we last recorded.
Yeah, it has. We got that E3 podcast out immediately.
Yeah, we were on top of it, and so it's been like 5 weeks. How are you?
Pretty good. Just hanging out, still on vacation. No classes this summer, so I'm just doing whatever I want to do. What about you?
I'm doing well. I'm just working and playing games. Think I just finished my 23rd game of the year, so
Wow.
doing well in the games realm. You have been traveling a lot, right? I mean, you went somewhere else since we last recorded.
Yeah, I was in Texas with you, and then came back, and then I was home for a month, and then I went to Colorado to visit my aunts and my uncles. And some of my cousins, and that was a freaking blast. We actually went to a whole bunch of antique malls, so I have lots of things that I've been buying.
Well, tell me about it. We can move into that right now. What have you been buying?
Okay, well, first, I bought a case for The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. It's one of my only Zelda games that was loose. I didn't have a case, so that was nice. It was decently priced. And then I actually stumbled upon some SNES games, so I got Super Mario Kart, which was the only Mario Kart game I didn't already have. I got the Player's Choice version of F-Zero. And then I got Clay Fighter Tournament Edition and Street Fighter 2. That was all from a Goodwill, a thrift store up there. And then we went to... They're called ARCs, which is kind of like the Goodwills of Colorado, and I got Wii Party U, which actually is a pretty expensive game. It's like $60 on eBay. I had absolutely no idea. And then probably my best find, we were in a giant antique mall, so it's got like rows and rows, and like it's huge. It's like a Walmart, but like an antique mall. Rows and rows and rows of cabinets. And you have to because they don't want you to touch anything or steal anything, so you have to ring the button for people to come, and I always find that I don't know, I don't want to waste their time just in case I don't want it. Anything. I was passing by one, and I saw the Wizard of Oz beyond the yellow brick road, and this strange, I sent you a picture of it, right? It's like a orange cardboard. I don't know what the point of it is, maybe to make it less easy to steal. I'm not sure. But I was like, I'm not going to press a button until I know that I want it. So I walked away, turned the corner. So I looked it up on eBay. It's going for $250.
Oh,
and so
my
I
goodness.
basically ran back to the counter and I was like, hello, I want this right now.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, my family was laughing. They're like, oh my God, I've never seen you move so fast. It's like, when you find it, you got to get it. And then I found some Sega CD games, so no one really cares about those. Sold those off.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
What were the Sega CD games?
I got Eternal Champions and Heimdall.
Yeah, I remember you told me that. Were those Goodwill?
That was an ARC, yeah.
Okay, so that was really cool. Honestly, all those pickups were really cool. I went to Colorado last March and had pretty bare bones luck at my thrift stores, but you went and you scored and you got freaking Wizard of Oz, the rarest DS game apparently.
Yep.
Pretty cool. Are you a Wizard of Oz fan?
I do like the Wizard of Oz. Actually, I was really scared of it for a long time when I was younger, but I watched it a lot growing up and I was like, wow, that's actually a really good movie. So yes, I do. The only reason I knew that it stood out to me is because it's by Xseed, which I know their games usually are rare or expensive down the road. So I was like, I might want to look into that one.
Are you going to keep that one?
Yeah. The only thing, though, is I don't know if I should take it out of its orange container. It's really hard to put on the shelf. It's ginormous.
Yeah, that's a tough call.
Oh, there's our mascot. You hear?
The mascot. Yeah, so pretty awesome. One more thing you didn't mention was you found me a Game Gear game, the Bernstein Bears, the Berenstain Bears, however you want to pronounce it. So that was awesome.
That was awesome. That was from a tiny, tiny game store. I'm sure you don't know where Legoland is in Florida, but it's like 2 seconds from Legoland.
Oh, was it not a Colorado pickup?
It was not a Colorado pickup. It's in Florida.
Gotcha. Well, I'll go ahead and start with my been buying, and I'll start with the Game Gear game. That was a brand new sealed copy of the Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein Bears.
I grew up with it, but I haven't had to say that word in 15 years.
The Bernstein Bears.
So yeah, that was a really good condition, clean copy of that game, brand new. Added to my very small collection of boxed Game Gear games.
Small but growing.
Right. Other than that, I've been knocking out a lot of GameCube stuff lately. I'm up to 260-ish out of the 558 games in the set. But I picked up Hitman 2, Blowout, Hello Kitty, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Space Raiders, The Sims Bustin' Out, and then a couple of actual good games. We had Bomberman Jetters. I'm looking forward to playing that one with friends because I love the other Bomberman game on GameCube. And I got Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. And I have to give a shout out to Matthew Vania on Instagram for selling me that one way below retail. That was a really good price. Not cheap by any means, but it was a great price, and I appreciate that man for it.
Wow. Now you have both of the highly sought after Fire Emblem games, don't you?
I do. And since you want to bring it up, Hannah, I found out there are 2 printings of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn on Wii, and I have the first one sealed, so that's pretty cool. The difference is the ESRB rating. One of them is black and the other one is white.
Ooh, variants.
I've been pretty slim on the Game Boy Advance pickups. I got Sword of Mana, which is a big one that I've been wanting pretty bad. Just because I'm a big Mana fan and I really want to play that game. It's a remake of Final Fantasy Adventure on the original Game Boy. So this one is really clean copy. It's got all the inserts and everything, but it's like doubled in price in the last year, which sucks because I've really been wanting it and I waited too long. But this one was $50 as opposed to the $100 that it's been going for, so I was really happy with that pickup. Wario Land 4, another really cool Game Boy Advance pickup. I got a couple of original Xbox games, Crazy Taxi 3 and Panzer Dragoon Orta, both exclusive to the Xbox. I've started playing Panzer Dragoon. I think I might have talked about it a lot of episodes ago, but they removed it from Xbox Game Pass, so I could not play it after that. Now I have the actual game.
Nice. That's also one. That's one that I saw at the Antique Mall. I was like, should I buy this? But price wasn't right.
So yeah, that's why physical media rules right there. And then the last thing I picked up, Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U.
Woohoo! Did you play it?
No, but it's on the backlog. I do want to play it. I've been starting too many things lately.
Too many things. Well, actually, I forgot to mention, speaking of Zelda, that I also got Skyward Sword, obviously.
Woo!
And the Zelda and the Loftwing amiibo and the Joy-Cons, which were a freaking nightmare to pre-order. That was awful. And then on release day, there were like a plethora of them. They were available like on all retailing sites. And they were still in stock like 3 hours after they posted it. So I was like, oh god, what a nightmare. How can they just say more will be in stock?
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. But you never know with these pre-orders. You can't risk it.
Nope, you cannot. So I got my pre-orders in from like 6 different retailers. And they all got here at different times. But that's fine.
I also forgot to mention something. I bought a freaking modern game. It's called Mario Golf Super Rush.
Ooh.
And yeah, I also have been playing Mario Golf Super Rush. I beat that game just yesterday, actually. It was a solid... No, I can't lie. The campaign was not great. But I love the multiplayer. Like, the actual golf part of Mario Golf is awesome. It's a lot of fun with multiple people. And Yeah, I'm gonna get a lot of hours of fun out of it for sure.
Are
But
the
campaign,
campaigns
you can skip it.
really ever good in any Mario sports game? I don't remember them being like super amazing. Or am I wrong?
I mean, most of the time, like you think of Mario Kart Double Dash, all you do is race and you get the gold. But that's not what it was in this. It was like Mario Golf. You had to go and actually fight bosses a couple of times, and it was more than just golf, which was strange to me. The story specifically was really out there in left field. I mean, I don't know what was going on. Strange game.
Interesting.
Um, I've been playing Billy Hatcher with my cousin. Have you heard of this game?
I have, but I've never played it.
It's actually a game made by Sonic Team for the GameCube and pretty fun little 3D platformer. I beat Trials of Mana, the original, on the collection of Mana. That was it was fun, but I would recommend people play the remake, honestly.
Really? That's a hot take.
The remake was awesome. So the original was kind of dated. It was kind of annoying. It was all right though. Definitely prefer my Secret of Mana. And the last thing I wanted to mention was this indie game called Luna Nights that was on Xbox Game Pass. I played through that. It's a little Metroidvania game from Team Ladybug. And I don't know where I found this game, but it was someone on social media, Instagram or Twitter, was like showing off this game, and I thought it looked amazing. It was good. I would definitely recommend someone play it if they just really love Metroidvanias and they wanted to check out an indie game for 4 or 5 hours. It was a short one, and it was a good time.
Sounds
but yeah.
interesting.
What about you? What have you been playing?
Skyward Sword. Duh.
Woo!
I got Skyward Sword on the mind, man. I love that game so much, and replaying it again, it looks so beautiful. The characters are amazing. I mean, it's like the most linear Zelda game you could possibly think of, but doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's just, it's so good. But coming from something like Breath of the Wild, it's like, okay, this is like super duper linear. But like I said, it's not a bad thing. It's just different.
I just added a video to my watch later playlist. It was like the 12 biggest differences between the original and the remake. So looking forward to checking that out.
You should. I will lend it to you. I will lend you the game so you can play it in person instead of watching a video about it.
I have it on Wii.
Yeah, but this version is absolutely better.
So how many hours you put in already?
I want to say like 10, 7 to 10. I don't really remember.
Oh my
so you
gosh.
you just get lost in how amazing the game is. I did go to bed at 5 a.m. last night, so I don't know. Maybe that tells you something.
Anything else you've been playing?
No, that's really it. Oh, you know what? I forgot to mention this too. I also bought Ys 9 Monster Nox, which is it's not a sequel, but it's just whatever the next game in the series is of Ys 8. And I didn't play it because I was waiting for Skyward Sword to come out. So now I have another 60-hour RPG waiting for me after this.
Well, that's exciting. I didn't mention it because I thought you were going to mention it, but we started playing about 3 hours worth of Breath of Fire on Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, yeah. I was literally thinking
cool.
about that, and I forgot to write it.
Yeah, so basically, I don't know if we talked about it on the show yet, but for the listeners, this game is a Capcom... Dang it, we looked this up. It's published by Capcom, but Square developed it, or vice versa.
I think it's vice versa.
Okay. But, where was I going with that? Oh, so basically we're playing on Switch Online. It's a single-player game, but you can trade off the controller at any time, which is pretty neat, honestly.
It is super neat. It's like, hey, you want to play? It's like, yeah, you might as well. Switch it over.
Exactly. So, pretty neat. Definitely we'll talk more about that in the future. But, yeah. Why don't we go ahead and move on to the news? What do you have for us?
News. Okay, first big thing is Nintendo announces the new OLED Switch model. Switch model Or you could say OLED. Are you an OLED or an OLED sayer?
Definitely not OLED.
Yeah, OLED sounds dumb.
I don't say SNES either.
I said SNES before. I'm guilty of that. Anyway, it's retailing for $350 and it releases on October 8th of this year. And it says, quote, the new system features a vibrant 7-inch OLED screen, a wide adjustable stand, a dock with a wired LAN port, and 64 gigabytes of internal storage and enhanced audio. What do you think about it?
Well, it's not for me because I have a Switch, but I will say that if I didn't have one, that'd be the one I was going for.
Yeah, that's true. Obviously, why wouldn't you get the upgraded one? I still have the OG one. The not bad battery, but just not as good battery as the newer battery version. I don't think they sell the original one anymore. Probably
not. Yeah, I mean, I've experienced it firsthand. The battery's definitely better. I don't have it, but my girlfriend does, and it lasts way longer. Probably double the amount of battery that mine lasts.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But yeah, pretty neat. I guess it's like a half step up, honestly, from what that we currently have. I mean, it's cool if you play handheld, but it's not a big difference if you're mostly a non-handheld person.
Yeah, a docked. We call that a docked. Yeah, so I probably won't be picking it up because I don't normally play my stuff in handheld. If I do, it's like because I'm on an airplane or something, which doesn't happen that often. I'm more of a docked player. But it's cool for the people that... I mean, if you're going to go into buying a Switch, you might as well just get this one. Because
it's a good price.
Yeah. I mean, it's $50 more, which I guess isn't that bad. I figured that they would, like, drop the price of the original one to, like, $250 or something. I don't know. But yeah, not for me, but...
I'm used to seeing Nintendo, or we're used to seeing Nintendo do these little half-step things. I mean, we went with 15 different DS models before the 3DS came out, so yeah. I'm sure we will still get a Switch Pro one day. I don't know.
I don't know why people are so up in arms about it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Not everything's for you.
What else you got?
And then the Switch now has a, in air quotes, competitor with Valve's Steam Deck, which that's an awful name. I'm sorry. Steam Deck. Basically it's like it's like a Switch, but like freaky looking. Have you seen the pictures of it? It's hysterical. I read on Twitter, it was like a meme or something, and it said that the Steam Deck's D-pad is like in a different area code because like they're like way in the freaking corners. It's so odd to look at. It's really fugly. It really is.
It doesn't look comfortable, honestly.
And I think they said it weighs like 2 pounds or something, like 3 pounds, which doesn't seem very heavy. But like the Switch is, I don't even think the Switch is a pound, is it? Maybe a little bit over a pound. Yeah, it's fugly. I don't think it's gonna be a competitor at all. I think it's just, I don't. It's like the PS Vita was to the 3DS. It's just there. But even then, I don't think it's gonna sell that well.
It's already targeting a different audience because it's PC gamers. I mean, if you want to play Nintendo games, you can't do it on the Steam Deck regardless. So, I don't know. You're not going to be playing Mario Kart on the Steam Deck.
Very true.
So, I think it's cool. I think that it's not for me 100% because I don't know. I was trying to figure out why it's not for me, and I just don't know the answer. I guess it's because I'm a console gamer, but that doesn't seem like the right answer. It doesn't seem like a real reason.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because a lot of games from Steam you can play on the Switch too. Like, I mean, obviously, like the PS4 and the Xbox ones, you can't play on the Switch, but I don't know. Not for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to sell I don't think it's going to sell super well. The cheapest model is $400, and it comes with a very small hard drive. And I say small because you can't play like the biggest games. You couldn't play Red Dead 2 or your NBA 2Ks on it. on the $400 model. You would have to get something that's closer to the $700 range, and for that reason, I don't think it's going to sell very well.
$700?
I'm pretty sure the highest gigabyte model was $700.
Good lord.
And they have 4 different models, which I don't think is a good tactic, but what do I know?
I would agree with you there. But it's whatever. Good for your Steam Deck people. If that's what you're into. And then the next thing I have is a sealed copy of Super Mario 64 sells for $1.56 million. $1 million!
I have a whole episode of Collective Perspective coming out soon on the channel with Craig, where we're going to talk about this. But yeah, the records are just being shattered this year. Zelda, a few days before this, sold for $870,000, and we thought that was insane. Crazy stuff going on in the gaming market right now. How do you feel about it?
Well, I can tell you I have a $35 copy if anyone wants to pay me $1.56 million. If you have $1.6 million, I don't know who would want to spend that much money on this. But that's cool if you want to waste that much money. That's it. Okay, and then the last thing I have is just a rumor. It's not technically news, but it was in a lot of Nintendo news sites. It's that the Metroid Prime Trilogy has been done for the Nintendo Switch, and Nintendo is just sitting on it for whatever reason.
So did someone come out and tell someone this? Is that why it's being rumored?
It says according to an industry insider. Obviously no names, but that's what they said. But this rumor has been in circulation for like 3 years. I mean, seriously, since Metroid Prime 4 was announced. They're like, yeah, you might as well bring the trilogy over. And everyone's like, yeah, it's a good idea. I'm sure it's already happening. I think I would say that this is probably true. They're just waiting to release it when they have more news about 4.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes sense. What?
Or they knew that they were going to come out with Metroid Dread, and they didn't want to cannibalize those sales. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense too.
There's definitely something behind the scenes that we don't know, but I believe it. I mean, why wouldn't they? They brought it to the Wii, so it couldn't be that hard to bring over to the Switch. We just saw them do Skyward Sword, right?
Yes, we did.
So I believe it. We'll see when that happens.
I'm perfectly content with my Metroid Dread, and I'm perfectly content with playing the Prime Trilogy on, I don't know, the Wii or the GameCube, or I actually have it on Wii U, so there's that. I have it digitally on Wii U.
Oh.
Yep. I wrote down one point of news. Netflix plans to bring gaming to its streaming service.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that, and this whole, like Amazon has something, and also we saw how well Google Stadia is doing. Somebody's gonna get it right. I don't know if it's gonna be Netflix, but everyone already has a Netflix subscription, so if they're just gonna include video games with it alongside the TV and movies, then maybe that's a good way to get people into it. They just see it and they're like, oh yeah, maybe I can. I don't know. Are you gonna be able to hook up your freaking Xbox controller Bluetooth to your cable box? Like, I don't even understand what that means.
Yeah,
it's gonna depend where you're watching Netflix, because if you're watching it on a PC, then that's easy.
Yeah, but what if you do for watching it on like a TV?
Exactly, a smart TV or something.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's weird. And another thing is, I hope they don't charge more. Like, you can get the normal package, or you can get the normal package plus the gaming package, and it's like $25 for something crazy.
Yeah.
Because, like, I'm already paying like $16 for Netflix.
Dang.
I know. They're really getting me. I don't want to pay anymore.
Everybody, because you can't live without it.
Yeah, that's true. That's a discussion for another time, though.
Hannah, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about, well, I guess our top 10 or top 20 total favorite summer levels in video games. So that means, well, for me, I picked like desert levels because I don't know if you've ever been to Texas, but it's like a real dry heat out there. It's like deserty, in my opinion, someone who comes from Florida. There's also lava levels, and I even picked beach levels for me because I live near the beach.
I also live about an hour from the beach, but that's aside from the point. Yeah, this is going to be a big summer-themed episode, as you probably guessed from the episode title. We have 10 each, and I think we should go ahead and take turns. I personally found this to be very difficult. I spent about 3 hours prior to recording trying to get my list of 10 here, and not easy for some reason. And I was trying to figure out why it's not easy. I think it's because, first of all, I live in the hottest place in the world, Texas, and it's like, when we did the winter episode, I was so happy to talk about it. There was like, I loved talking about snow and ice and cold, and it's just like, I don't know if I want to talk about heat and fire and like lava. But another reason is because I think I was looking for a lot of beach levels, right? And so when you think of the beach, you think of water levels in Mario or in other games, and those are like the worst levels in games. Nobody likes water levels, so this was my topic idea. I'll take the blame here, but I think we come up with a good list of 10 each here.
Well, I like water levels. What's wrong with you?
No, you don't.
I do too.
Wow.
A lot of these are water. Well, one of these is water.
Good for you. I'm glad you like water levels. Why don't... Who's going to go first here? Do you want to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. These are in no particular order, obviously. But my first choice would be Sunset Bay from Wave Race. I know you haven't played that game, but it's the Wave Runner game.
I did. I grew up playing that game.
What?
Yeah, dude. Come on.
Okay. Anyway, so basically, Wave Race, like, the whole game on Nintendo 64 looks absolutely amazing. Like, the water in that game is just, it's so crisp looking and nice. And that's saying something about Nintendo 64 graphics. But I always thought the water looked really nice in the game. In this level in particular, it's obviously sunset, so the sky is like a dark purpley orange and it reflects on the water, and it's super nice. And it's just a really overall beautiful level. I mean, none of the courses in Wave Race are particularly difficult, but this one has like beaches and boat docks, and there's ships you have to like navigate around, and then there's cute little dolphins that'll do tricks behind you. But yeah, this one's just one of those like actual beautiful levels in Nintendo 64 graphics.
I distinctly remember the dolphins. Absolutely. They were probably in like the opening cutscene or something.
Oh, they absolutely are. It's like, yeah, we have dolphins in this game. Everyone's like, all right, let's play it.
Yeah, I never owned it, but I did rent that game at least once or twice back in the day. Good times.
It's a very good game. Many hours were spent in this game.
And, sometimes you think, like, we'll never see it revived, but we just got a new cruising game coming to Switch. That's pretty crazy.
That is true. I'm very excited for that one. Have that one pre-ordered, baby.
And we forgot to mention it in episode 17.
Oh, yeah. Oops. That's my bad.
All right. Number 1 for me, it's a game called Star Fox Adventures. There is it's not its own planet, but there is a part of the world called Cape Claw, and it is an absolutely beautiful beach area. I don't think a lot of GameCube games or, anything from that early 2000s, late 90s era, I don't think much of it is gorgeous when it's 3D, but I would say that this area was really freaking pretty. The water just looked so good for the time. But this is you visit this land a couple times, and it's where you visit the Ocean Force Point Temple. It's a pretty fun temple with fun puzzles, and even more fun the second time you come through. It's very pretty, super calm soundtrack. I mean, it's David Wise, who is the guy that did the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack. So it totally makes sense. But this whole area filled with dinosaurs and you know, beach and water and everything, it feels like vacation, and the soundtrack just makes you feel happy. It's such a good time going there, honestly. But yeah, the water looked great for the time. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous world, and that's all I have to say about it.
Very interesting. I've never actually played that game, but that's like not the traditional Star Fox. That's like the adventure game, right?
Yeah, the redheaded stepchild.
The Dinosaur Planet game.
Yeah, that's
I would actually like to play that one. That one looks interesting. Okay, on to my number 2.
Yeah, on to your number 2.
Okay, this one you should be very familiar with because you just played this because I made you play it because I bought you the game. But it's
Xenoblade.
Blarg's Boiler from Yoshi's Story.
I thought you were about to say something Xenoblade.
Oh, well, that one's later on the list. But it's not necessarily my favorite lava level, but it's like one of the most memorable when I was playing as a child. So Yoshi's Story I used to go to my cousin's house up in Georgia, and they have like this little den where they have like the TV and all their games and stuff. And this was their game, and so I used to play that game all the time when I went up there. But this level in particular is like really scared the crap out of me because the enemy, Blarg, I called him Blog, but it's actually Blarg. Blarg, he's like a scary lava monster with like lava teeth and like big ass eyes, and he'll like pop up out of the lava while you're trying to play this game, bouncing on freaking bones and stuff, it's super eerie. But it would scare the bejesus out of me as a child. So anytime I played this game, which I loved, I had to have like my older cousins or my older brother play because it was absolutely terrifying. But other than that, like just the ambiance of it is scary. Like obviously the floor is lava, so if you touch it, you're gonna die. But you're also like walking over bones and like vertebrae, and they like move and sink into the lava.
Definitely doesn't sound like we're talking about Yoshi right now.
No. And then there's like little fire ghosties that'll pop out of the lava and like try to get you. It was like the scariest level in my mind. But it's so clear. I have such vivid memories of it. So, not my favorite lava level, but like I said, very, very memorable for that one enemy.
Blarg is in Super Mario World on Super Nintendo, and I distinctly remember that they spell his name with 2 G's.
It is 2 G's. Isn't he kind of scary, though? I mean, you just played the game. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. He's just goofy in 2D, but in 3D, he's pretty scary.
Scary.
But speaking of the Mushroom Kingdom, why don't we move it on to the best Mario game ever made, Super Mario 3D World.
Ooh. 64.
Shadowplay Alley. So I was like on the internet scrolling through some beach worlds and looking at what could possibly make my list, and this one kind of debatable to put it on this list. So it's in world, I forget what number the world is, but it's in the beach world of Mario 3D World, but it's really not a beach level, so I'm sorry, but this one had to make the cut. So it's almost like a 2D level in the sense that you're looking at this from the front. All right, so just try to imagine it with me here. So you're looking at it directly from the front instead of like isometric or top down or anything. And because you're looking at it from the front, there's a light coming at the character, and it makes a shadow on the wall. And halfway through, okay, so before I jump ahead, they do some really cool things with shadows in this level, and so you'll be like walking left to right, and to show that there is an enemy or a hidden star deeper into the level, like towards you, they will have just the shadow of the star or the enemy, and you'll have to come towards the screen to come and get it. I guess I'm not doing a good job explaining it, I can imagine, but it's super cool. Definitely one of the most unique levels in the game. Definitely reminds me of the silhouette levels in Donkey Kong Country, Tropical Freeze, and Returns. And those are some of the best levels in those games, too. But yeah, halfway through this level, you enter a door, and you actually become a shadow. it looks like you are a shadow for a short time. Like you went into the wall, which is pretty clever, pretty neat. And then, so one thing I wanted to mention was the very last secret star, the third one in this level, has you save a very scared Captain Toad from a Bowser shadow that was created by a wooden cutout. And you don't actually have to kill Bowser or anything because it's not a real Bowser, but all you do is walk over there and it falls down and Toad's like, oh, everything's fine, I'm good. Because that's the kind of cute crap you get when you see Captain Toad.
Aww.
So yeah, this one doesn't really make the whole summery vibe thing, but it as soon as you step outside to get to that flagpole, you do see the desert all around you. So I'm counting it.
I think that counts. That you
Appreciate
almost made me want to play that game, and then I realized how much I hate it. And I'm like, nah, never mind.
Hate is a strong word.
Hate is a strong word. I strongly dislike.
All right.
Well, speaking of strongly dislike, here's another one. Just the entirety of Super Mario Sunshine. I despise that game.
I did not think that was gonna make our list.
Yep, I absolutely despise that game, but I will say that game is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, for the GameCube, it's gorgeous. I mean, the water looks so nice, and so I'm gonna narrow it down to a specific level, just because this one sticks out in my mind. Probably because it's like one of the first ones, and it's like one of the only ones that I did successfully without just rage quitting. Anyway. So obviously the point of Mario's Sunshine is that Mario and the gang, like, they go on vacation and then they get into some trouble, right? So they're on this island, and one of the levels is Gelato Beach, which, obviously it's a beach level, and so there's like beach shacks and there's surfboards in the sand, but then there's this one level where I don't even know what they really are, what their purpose is, but there's like pillars and they have like the mirrors on top, like reflective mirrors that kind of move like giant satellite things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And they got the like little birdies on them, and you have to go up there with FLUDD and you got to spray them off, or they'll like bump you and knock you off. I don't know why, but I just found that level really fun in a game that's not so fun. But the beach is beautiful, the water's beautiful. It's also got like these little plants that stick out of the water or the sand, and if you use FLUDD to like wet them, like they're like sandcastles pop out. So it's like a triangle, or it's like a pyramid, or like a can't remember the other figures, but it's an interesting level. And there's also like mountains behind it, and you can go in the mountains, and there's wires I think that you can like bounce on. But yeah, it's just, that level is, to me, it's just beautiful. The whole game is beautiful. That's the only good thing I can say about it.
I'm sure the soundtrack is great too, just
that's
because
true.
it's Mario.
Soundtrack is very good. You're right. It's my bad. So it looks nice and it sounds nice, but that's it.
Does not play nice.
Does not play nice at all.
I have my next one is Sonic Mania. So the Mirage Saloon level. It is, you are riding on the back of, dang it, hang on, let me look at these notes real quick. So Mirage Saloon was a complete desert level. You, for half of the level, you're just flying on Tails's, I don't know if that's grammatically correct. You're flying on his aircraft that he has had since like Sonic 2, and it's almost like a shmup, but you're not shooting anything. You're just getting shot at, trying to jump on him as Sonic does. And that is pretty cool. But then you get down to like halfway through the level, and you're riding on the back of Eggman's train. He just comes through looking like a freaking conductor, and you get on the back of it, and you're working your way through to the front of the train. And at some point, you get shot out of a gun, kind of like a gunslinger in a saloon, and it sends you flying to the level's mini-boss. And the whole time, you just see this beautiful like backdrop of 16-bit cacti, and canyons, and it's just really pretty. Everything about Sonic Mania is super pretty. I love the 16-bit aesthetic. But yeah, it just really feels like the Wild West. And there are wanted posters throughout the level as well. It makes it feel more like the Wild West. On those wanted posters, you see some Sonic characters that haven't been in the game since like the 90s. There's Bean the Dynamite, Bark the Polar Bear, and Fang the Sniper. And
Bean? Like bean, Bean, bean?
Yeah.
Huh.
Bean the Dynamite. So Fang the Sniper actually fits the Wild West theme very well because he's like a cowboy with a cowboy hat on, and he's got a pistol strapped to his waist. So pretty cool. But yeah, gorgeous scenery. The colors look great. Sonic Mania is just always been such a good looking game. It's not my favorite soundtrack in the game, but it is still solid.
Did you play that on Game Pass?
Man, I actually got that on Switch first before anything else. I have that game 3 times.
You must really love it.
You're up.
Okay, this one's a long one, so bear with me. But it is Chapter 5 of Paper Mario, titled Hot Hot Times on Lava Lava Island. So this is like a whole, like, if you played that Paper Mario game that's like cut up into chapters, and each chapter, like, you get the thing at the end that you're looking for, and you need like so many things. Anyway, so it's specifically Mount Lava Lava from Paper Mario 64. So in this level, you start so epically by riding into the level on a whale, like actually on the back of a whale, with some random adventurer guy. And you go to an island, and on the island there's like beaches and palm trees and lots and lots and lots of cute tiny little Yoshis. It's like a Yoshi island. Get it? But they're like, there's like normal Yoshis, and there's like really teeny tiny like baby Yoshis, and it's super cute. And all different kinds and all different colors. There's also that like fat Yoshi, the one where it's like neck is like part of its body. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think that one's awesome in that game. And so you explore this island, and there are these super, super annoying enemies called fuzzies that suck the life out of you when you're battling. So it's obviously a turn-based game, and so after your turn, you hit them with the hammer, smack them with a hammer or whatever, jump on them. Then they'll come over there, and they'll deal damage to you, but they'll suck it out of you. And they, like, cling your ear. It's really annoying. And they can actually do a lot of damage. There's also tribal spear-wielding Shy Guys. So they're, like, the barbarian Shy Guys. And the point of exploring this island is to get to this volcano, right? So when you make it to the volcano, where the treasure is, the thing that you need at the end of the level, you can't get into it because there's some like deep, dark valley of lava just surrounding it. So you're like, oh, well, guess I can go that way. Let's go back to the island. And then you have to do like, not some quests, but like what the game wants you to do. The Yoshi children were stolen, blah, 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 blah. And eventually, I don't want to spoil anything, but eventually, you befriend a giant, comically large-looking crow and his, like, little cronies. And he helps you get across the mountain by building a zip line over the chasm of lava.
Perfect.
I know. And so you get to the volcano, you get inside, and obviously it's filled with lava. It's the inside of a volcano, like mountain kind of thing. And you get to the end, and I actually really like this final boss, because it's, like, the first time that the game like jukes you out, and it's like pretends that you beat the boss, and it's like getting the final thing where you like get awarded your points or whatever, and it's like, psych, he's back. So you beat him once, and he's super easy, and you're like, wow, that was super disappointing. That was way too easy. And then he sinks back into lava, and it's a giant piranha plant, right? So it's a lava piranha. It's got one giant one in the middle. It's got 2 like little buds, I guess, on either side. So you beat him once, he goes back into lava. The end of the battle theme starts playing, and then it's like, psych, and Mario's like, what, with like an exclamation point over his head, and he comes back up, but this time he's on fire, so he's so much harder to beat. Obviously you can't jump on him because you'll burn, and so like you have to like strategically plan out your attacks around him being on flames. And then at the end, when you beat him, he dies like any other normal enemy. But I just thought that was like, I was like, yeah, wow, that was so easy. And then psych, not so easy.
It's nice to know that they've had that comedy thing going ever since the first game.
Mm-hmm. It's very nice. I mean, not super nice when you realize, like, oh man, I gotta do it again. Gotta try to beat him again, but it's not that bad. But yeah, fun level, fun design, good comedy, good character design, and cute little Yoshis. How could you not like it?
I love that you mentioned the Shy Guys, because it seems like you can just acclimate them to any game, any setting. Like I feel like there have been like ghost Shy Guys where they're wearing white and they're like flying. I feel like I've seen that in a game.
I feel like I've seen that too.
They can do anything. Shy Guys.
They're like toads. They're very blank canvases.
Right.
You can do whatever you want.
My next one is a Nintendo 64 game called Rayman 2: The Great Escape. And the Sanctuary of Water and Ice is the level that I will be referencing today. The level takes place on what appears to be an island. So you start out on a beach and you climb up some rocks and you actually get to explore the island's beaches. There's caves and you even go underwater. This is a pretty, it's a really pretty level. As pretty as an N64 game could be, I guess. The second half does not feel like summer, though, because it feels more like winter when you get halfway through this level. There's a Mario 64 type slide, so think of the penguin race. Mm-hmm. It's just like that. And then at the end of the slide, you get to fight an ice boss. So definitely not feeling the summer vibes at this point, but the soundtrack is killer. And this game definitely needed some kind of summery beach level, considering like all the villains are pirates. But yeah, this is not a long level by any means. I don't have a whole lot to say about it, but it is first half is definitely summery.
Wow. Well, unfortunately, I think that disqualifies you since you have winter in here, but that's fine. Technically, I only have 9. Okay, my next one is, like I said, Xenoblade Chronicles is showing up at some point, and this is, I pronounce it the Erythsea, but it's spelled Eryth. I'm not really sure how you say that, but that's how I pronounced it. And on the topic of just beautiful levels, this is I played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and that has amazing visuals, but like on the Wii, this Xenoblade Chronicles looks rough on the Wii, if I'm being completely honest. Like, the feet are blocky, the faces are weird. It's like PS1 graphics, right? But it's such an epic scale that if you like zoom the camera out a little bit, it looks really good. But this game looks, and this level looks absolutely amazing on the HD remaster that came out for the Switch. It actually, like, my jaw dropped. It's so beautiful. So the level takes place on, which, if you don't know this game, do you remember when we were playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2? They're like the giant titan things that people live on, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the same thing, but it's called the Bionis and the Mechonis. Anyway, so this takes place on the neck protrusions of the Bionis, which is some giant, like, massive titan, and it's where like all the people live. They like build houses and like little communities on the body parts of this giant thing, which sounds really weird, but anyway. So just imagine like a giant lake, right? But it's got like rocks that kind of like come over, kind of like claws. It sounds scary, but it's not really. It's just like jagged rocks that like surround this giant lake. And you can explore. One of the cool things I found in this game is you can explore the entire lake. And the lake is huge. You know, like Lake Hylia from the Zelda series? Uh-huh. Like just a massive lake. You can explore the entire thing, and there's like little drop points that you can like get items and stuff.
How's the water look?
The water looks pretty good. You can't see underneath the water, though. It's basically just water, but there's like waterfalls and stuff. But the cool thing about this one is, though, above that water and like around the beach and stuff, like above the water, there's these giant floating islands, which is like, they got like this really pretty plants. There's like coral, like vibrant colors, like vibrant oranges, vibrant yellows, vibrant greens. And you can like teleport from each little island. There's tons of them. There's like 15 islands or whatever. Of course, there's enemies and stuff on back. But in the middle, there's like this... The central part is this giant... It's where the people live. It's like there's giant civilizations. They're like evolved humans or whatever they're called in the game. They have like wings and they're like special, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I won't spoil into the story, but there's a big part of the story that happens. It's like a plot twist. You're like, oh my god, no way. But I won't spoil it. But at nighttime, the sky turns into brilliant shades of purple and blue and turquoise and reflects on the water, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, heck yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's one of my favorite scenes. Favorite levels from both games, actually. It's amazing.
Very cool. Got me wanting to play it just so I can see that scene.
Yeah, you gotta play it, man. You gotta play at least one. I suggest 2, but you might be more of a 1 guy. Who knows?
I'm certainly not an X guy.
Wah. You tried though. That's all that matters.
My next one, man, we have a lot of Nintendo 64 on this list. I have Star Fox 64 here. So the level is Solar is the name of the level, and it's a planet. So each level in Star Fox 64 is a planet, and there's multiple routes that you can take, but this is one that is pretty easily accessible. It's not too hard to get here. I imagine most people who've played this game have been to this planet. But this level actually takes place on a red dwarf star, and the surface is completely lava. So the R-Wing that you fly around in, that's the name of the ship, it can take temperatures of up to 9,000 degrees, according to Slippy in a little cutscene. But but you lose health throughout the entire level. So I don't know if that means that the star is just over 9,000 degrees or what that means, but you keep having to replenish your health throughout the entire level. So you've got these flaming rocks that are always shooting up at you. You have just fire streams that are constantly being like performing, I don't know, stunts all around you, and they just like come and try to attack you. There's flaming birds. They all look like Moltres, and you gotta dodge those or shoot them.
Nice.
And the enemy, the boss is a freaking bioweapon named Vulcan, and he's basically just a giant lava monster with like praying mantis arms. So he's pretty gnarly. The level is pretty easy as far as Star Fox 64 levels go. As long as you keep replenishing that health, you're good to go. You can't fly too low either, because that'll make your health go down faster, I think, if I remember that correctly. But yeah, you're constantly stressed, but it's a really fun and exciting level. I know I made it sound like it's not, but it's a pretty fun and exciting level.
Constantly stressed pretty much describes my life. Constantly stressed. No, that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, ready for my next one?
Yeah.
I just thought of another honorable mention, so I was writing that down. But we'll read those at the end. So, I guess I might as well go with this one. Pretty much all of Skyward Sword to me, feels very summery. It feels very bright and vibrant. But I'll be a little more specific, again, with the lava levels. But, it could just be because it's fresh in my mind, because I'm obviously playing it. But I just finished the first section of the game, which is Elden's Volcano. And the first time I was playing this game was on the Wii. I want to say 7 or 8 years ago. I bought it way after, obviously, it launched. And it was only the second or third 3D Zelda game I'd ever played. So anything past, Nintendo 64's Ocarina of Time, that game felt epic when I played it. But then this one really felt epic when I played it. It felt like I was actually exploring a mountain. It was giant, and you could see, the entire mountain from where you're looking at the bottom. And oh my god, I get to explore all of this. That's the thought that I had in my mind. Obviously, It's not Breath of the Wild epic, right? Because you can't, go in and blah, 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 whatever.
Right.
But anything compared to Breath of the Wild, it's not going to seem as epic. But I really like the puzzles in the dungeon in this game. So obviously, we have to explore the mountain, which is a puzzle in itself. Because when you get to the temple, which is the dungeon, the Earth Temple, you find out that the key has been broken into 5 pieces. So you have to go and you have to explore the entire mountain. And some of the puzzles are actually kind of hard. You get lost sometimes really easily. And then the boss of the game is Scaldera, which is how I pronounce it, but essentially it's just a giant rock, but it's got spider legs and it's made out of lava. So you climb up this ramp thing, and there's bombs at the top, and you have to hit him with a bomb. He'll roll back down, and then he'll go to suck in, I don't know, air so he can blow out fire at you, fireballs at you, and you gotta throw a bomb in there. And then you keep doing that until he loses all of his outside rock crust, armor armor crust, and then it's just a molten, creepy little magma monster. But you gotta hit his eye. But the weird thing is, his eye doesn't just sit there, like Zelda games, you slash the eye and it doesn't move. This eye moves all around, so you really gotta utilize those motion controls. I don't know, I just thought that was so cool. And it's kind of frustrating too, because it'll move real fast, and you gotta be real fast with your movements. Because I use motion controls for Skyward Sword, and I'm sure most people don't. But I will die on the hill saying that that's the best way to play the game. Anyway, it's just a whole lot of fun. And then also in that level, you get introduced to a new race that we've never seen before called the Magmas, which I wanted to be able to describe them accurately, but like I didn't know what I was looking at. So I looked on the wiki, the Zelda wiki, and it says their appearance is a kind of cross between a prairie dog and an ape. So if you know what that looks like. But I'd also add, it kind of looks like a mole too, like a humanized mole, which sounds terrifying, but they're not. They're cute little creatures. And they dig around in the ground and they look for treasure and stuff and in the temples and whatnot. And they give Link the digging mitts, which means you can dig around in little holes all over the place, which, I don't know, there's just something endlessly satisfying about finding rupees and hearts and stuff in tiny little holes.
That's a first for the series. I've definitely never dug around in Zelda, unless I was the wolf in Twilight Princess.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, it's different when you're a wolf. You actually got, like, mitts. I think, don't quote me on this because I can't really remember, but I think Minish Cap also has some kind of version of that, but like I said, don't quote me on it. But anyway, yeah, fun level, cute little creatures. The mole people, they sound scary, but I promise they're not.
I'm getting Diglett vibes.
Yeah, kinda, but think like with claws.
Alright, my next one is probably the cutest game ever made. It's Yoshi's Crafted World. There's a level called Dino Smash, and it's inside of the Dino Desert world. So, you might remember this once I start talking about it, because you played this game, right?
Yeah, I did.
So this game, unbelievably creative. Anytime this game gets brought up on this podcast, we just have to talk about how unbelievably creative it is. In this level specifically, you walk a few feet as a regular Yoshi, and then you put on a Triceratops skull, and you freaking walk around crashing through enemies and objects, and it's just too much fun.
I do remember this one. Yeah, you're right. This one is a lot of fun.
It's one of those situations where you don't want to destroy everything, or else you'll miss the secrets and collectibles. So, you might want to play through it one time, just freaking ramming through everything like you're a freaking rhinoceros, and then go back and get those collectibles, just because human nature, right? You just want to destroy everything. But yeah, it is so satisfying to just run through these Shy Guys like they are just worthless. And
worthless.
So yeah, the environment that is being created in this level it's not the most creative world, just because it's a desert. There's a whole lot of like empty space in the background, but you do see the cardboard cacti. Definitely one of the least creative worlds in the game, but it's just because it's a dry, arid desert. It's very pretty regardless. The Triceratops skull definitely makes the level.
That level is super awesome. That whole game is just awesome. I know we talk about it all the time, but I love that game. Crafting is like my thing. Working with paper and cardboard is like my thing. I love it.
I think of Kirby Star Allies, and I think of Yoshi's Crafted World, and I just had so much more fun with Crafted World. It was like, I don't know, Star Allies could have been so much better. And I guess I think of them together a lot because they're just 2D platformers that came out a while ago now for the Switch that both pretty much get overlooked. They're not top tier games, but you should definitely play Crafted World if you haven't played it.
Yeah, don't bother with Star Allies. That game was awful.
I wish we could play that one together though. Like, I know we talked trash about it, but I think that would be fun to play together.
Well, fun fact, actually, that's the only game I've lost.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I was taking a picture for Instagram, right, and I had like all the Nintendo Switch cartridges, and I don't know what happened, but I didn't put them up like an idiot, like right away after I took the picture. I just kind of left them on my desk, which is always bad because I have a cat who like notoriously knocks stuff off of my desk all the time. Anyway, I don't know. It's gone. That's the only game I've ever lost in my entire life.
Yeah, Marbles ate that for sure.
Yeah, she did something with it. Okay, next on my list is Mario Kart Course from Nintendo 64, Koopa Troopa Beach.
I saw that one when I was researching.
Mm-hmm. Did you play Mario Kart 64? I know you haven't.
No, I just bought it, but I haven't played it.
Ah, man. Okay, this is, for me, one of the most frustrating, but also one of the most fun games or courses in the game because it's got the most difficult shortcut. And I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's the shortcut where it's like behind the waterfall. So you have to hit this ramp, this tiny little ramp, at the right time and at the right speed, and you go through like a hole in the mountain, and you come out behind a waterfall, and it's so difficult. It is so freaking difficult to hit that ramp. Right.
Must be very satisfying.
It is so satisfying. I mean, it's so rewarding when you do it. It's like, cut in front of all these people. So basically, it's just a giant island, right? And there's like mountains and stuff in the middle and surrounded by water. But the cool thing about this level is like the tides come in and out. So if you hit it just right, there's actually a part in the water where you can cross. And it's like, I don't know if it's technically a shortcut or if like they even meant to do that, but there's like a little strip that you can go through. You don't have to worry about hitting any of the enemies or anything, and it's like a shortcut, and you go through. So that's super, super cool to pull off if you can. Otherwise, you just get stuck in the water and you drown, and then what is his name? Lakitu? The guy in the cloud, he has to come save you. And also in the island, I used to love this just because children, they pick things. But there's like in the mountain, in the scenery, there's like a giant turtle made out of the rock because it's like Koopa Troopa. It's like their beach. It's just a cute little turtle, and it's huge. I used to really love that. I was like, oh, there's a turtle. I made it to the turtle. Because, kids aren't really good at Mario Kart. I know I wasn't. And then another thing about the level that I don't think was intentional is, like, some of the mountain cliffs are they're sloped, so they kind of look like ramps. So you're like, I could probably go up that. And if you hit it just right with a mushroom, you can actually, like, skip half the track if you go up the mountain. And it'll let you do it. Nintendo 64 games are notoriously not glitchy, but just, like, I don't know, developers just didn't think anyone would do that. And you can just skip half the course if you hit the mountain right. So I thought that was super fun. But yep.
Nice. Yeah, I actually didn't include any Mario Kart levels. There was one that I was, like, really trying to think of from 8. And I was, like, looking at the maps online, and I did a lot of YouTubing, and I was like, man, what is this level? I still couldn't tell you what it is. But, yeah.
Which
anyways,
one is
I don't
it?
have...
Is it the volcano one?
No, it was one where you, like, go underwater at some point, but it's also above ground. And it's not one that was ported from another console, I don't think. I think it was a Mario Kart 8 game track.
There's a lot of ones that you go underwater.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the one that's got, like, the holes, and you have to, like, jump over the holes in the seaweed?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
I think there's... No, I'm not even... We're going to sit here for 5 minutes trying to figure it out. Alright, next up, kind of a surprising pick for me, but it's The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Not my favorite game, not my favorite Zelda game for sure. But Dragon Roost Island, it's freaking beautiful. I hope that you're not gasping because you chose it.
No, I did, because I don't really like Wind Waker, so I tend not to think about it. But you're right. Level is nice.
You could choose any island from this game for this summer list video here, podcast, but I'm choosing Dragon Roost Island. It is the second dungeon of the game, and or the second dungeon is on this island, I should say. And yeah, this was still early on where I was enjoying Wind Waker. The second half of the game, not so much. And I did play it on the GameCube, but this is where you meet the Rito tribe and they're like a bunch of half bird, half human looking folks. I don't even know. You make friends with this girl Medley. She's like the apprentice attendant, or soon to be apprentice attendant, of this giant dragon Valoo, who's sitting on top of the it's not a volcano, I don't think. It's just like on top of this island, and it's like a freaking mountain. But yeah, he's Valoo, and he's causing problems. You find out later that this girl Medley is the Sage of Earth. Spoiler alert for a 20-year-old game. Obviously, you go through the dungeon, you work your way up to the top of the island, you find out that Valoo isn't actually the one causing problems. There's just this giant lava, like, millipede thing who keeps messing with him. So you defeat that thing, typical Zelda stuff. And I can't not mention the freaking minigame, Hannah, where you help out at the Dragoon Roost... Oh my gosh, that was a typo. At the Dragon Roost Postal Service, the DRPS, if you will. and Link the Mailman steps in for a part-time job. But yeah, pretty basic minigame. Kind of weird to see it in a Zelda game, but it's there.
I don't believe I've ever played that minigame.
Wow. This is so the soundtrack, absolutely epic. It's one of the prettiest pieces of music ever composed in a video game, and that is, I will stand by that. And the last thing I was going to say, this is like cartoony art style, looked super good on the GameCube, but man, I was watching gameplay and the HD remaster on Wii U brought a freaking tear to my eye. It is so beautiful. I definitely wish that I had that version and that I played it, because the GameCube version, it was fine, but the HD remaster is so beautiful.
I agree. It did look very nice. Don't own it. I also don't like Wind Waker. I can say I strongly dislike it. I've tried to play that game on four separate occasions, like years apart. I'm like, I just can't do it. But I agree with you about the music, though. And that level also sticks out in my mind.
I need to get that game, honestly. I need to get both of the HD remasters on Wii U before they start selling for $1.56 million.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, my next one is... This is an easy one. So, it is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2, the Venice Beach level.
Hey, I wrote that as a honorable mention.
Did you really?
I did.
So, again, like it says, this game takes place on a beach, but it's, like, not really the beach, because you can't really skateboard on the beach. It's, like, the village, like, downtown area of the beach. So there's ramps and telephone wire to grind on, and there's graffiti all over the walls, which I always thought was super cool. And when my brother and I used to play this game, we didn't have, like, a memory pack, which you need to be able to save all of these things. So every time we got to this level, it was, like, the greatest feeling, right? Because you have to go through all the levels and beat so many things before you can unlock this level. And every time we'd play, we'd have to do it over and over and over and over and over again until we got here. So it was an amazing feeling. And so honestly, just for that reason, it was like a reward. It's like, right. Oh my gosh, we got to this really cool level. And I always thought, dumb me, that Venice Beach, like, meant Venice, Florida. It doesn't. It's Venice Beach, like, California. So I was like, I don't think Venice looks like that. But because I live very close to Venice, like an hour away. So I was like, oh my god, how freaking cool that it's like Venice Beach in a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. Like, that's so cool. And then also I haven't played the remaster. Or is it a remaster or remake?
Dang it.
I don't know. Anyway, on the Switch, I haven't played it, so I don't know if this part's in it, but me and my brother used to just and my cousin used to just laugh our asses off that one of the missions that you have to do is to jump over 5 bums.
Yep,
like
still in there.
5 homeless people that are just hanging out there. And actually this level was brought over to Tony Hawk's Underground, which is another game that I absolutely loved. Tony Hawk game. And it's like updated.
Didn't know that.
But yeah. Fun fact about Tony Hawk's Underground. Tony Hawk's Underground, right, is they have a level in it from Tampa, which is like an hour from my house. So it's like, okay, so Venice Beach, not an hour from my house, but Tampa, that's actually legit an hour from my house.
And then you found out it's actually Tampa, California.
Nope, it is actually Tampa, Florida. And I know that because one of the levels, or like one of the big things, is there's just an alligator chilling right by like the beach, or like right by a lake. Like, oh my god, that's hilarious. That's so Florida. They nailed it. But yeah, that's my next one.
All right. Well, my next one is a pretty awesome game. One of my top 10 favorite games of all time. It's called Doom, and it released in 2016. And it's the very first level is the one I wanted to mention because, well, let's just go through it. It's called the UAC, and I forget what that stands for. But basically, it's a facility, and you wake up here. It hasn't been a Doom game in like 10 years at this point. You wake up strapped to a table in an abandoned facility where demons are just crawling towards you, and you're like, whoa. And you got no armor on. You're like in your freaking boxers. You like have no gun or anything, and you pick up a pistol. Well, first you got to break out of these like straps on this table that you're on, and then you got to pick up a pistol, and you just immediately the action begins, and you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a freaking epic game right from the get-go. So this facility is on Mars, and it looks exactly like what you would think Mars looks like. It's like that red sand, and there's just sand everywhere. It's dunes everywhere, surrounded by it. And the game does a really great job of letting you know that you're like all alone with a bunch of demons on this facility. As you're traversing through the facility, you hear the computers saying things like demonic presence at unsafe levels, and you're like, that's nice, that's comforting.
You're like, great, thanks.
This level introduced me to one of my absolute favorite games ever made, and just like you're introduced to the heavy metal riffs that are Doom, and you start picking up weapons like the freaking shotgun, the infamous shotgun. You get your grenades on this level. It's a big... I chose this level specifically because of all the sand, and it kind of went with the summer theme here, but it's not my favorite level in the game. It's just a killer introduction to an absolutely awesome game.
And of course, it's gory as heck, right? You're ripping demons' heads apart. And
Oh, you've played it?
no, but I've watched gameplay of Doom. I'm like, I think I might be able to get into that, but like, it's really gory. Like...
You're 100% right.
They're ripping demons' heads apart, and like their brains are exploding all over the place. And I'm pretty sure like blood can splash on the camera too. It's like, that's a little too much for me. But that's cool if you're into that. All right, my next one. I think we would be absolutely remiss if we didn't say Lethal Lava Land from Super Mario 64.
Yep, I figured one of us would.
I tried not to because everyone knows this is one of the best levels ever, but I mean, it's true. It really is. If you look on the lists on the internet, it's always there, and it's always like 1 or 2. But yeah, I absolutely love this game. Love this level. It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of a pain in the ass sometimes. Like, you can totally die. Even as, I wouldn't say an expert, but as someone who's played the game a lot, like, there are so many frustrating points. Like, especially in the lava. Or, in the lava. Especially in the volcano. You have to, like, go in the volcano. There's the star where you have to, like, jump from, like, pole to pole to pole to pole. I can't even tell you how many times I died on that. The first time, and the second time, and the gajillionth time I tried to get that frickin' star back there. So many times, and it's not even that difficult. It's just once you make a mistake and you go in the lava and you're instantly dead. You bounce around saying oh, right, and then you die because you can't get to a platform. So many times I've died.
You know which one I struggle with is like the log rolling. I remember that one specifically from that level. Yep.
That one's super fun, and then the random Bowser puzzle that forms. I just think that's weird, but it fits, you know?
Yeah.
It's constantly moving. You can be screwed by that one, too. It's the lava, man. And then the bullies in that level, too.
Oh,
those can be really difficult. The 1, not so bad. 2, you know you can handle it. 3's kind of a lot. And then the giant one. You gotta really be on your toes for that one.
The bullies, yeah.
The bullies. And then, I guess the other lava level in this game, which is like your second encounter with Bowser. I always really like that one because it's not a very long level. Well, I guess if you consider it a level, it's not a very long level, but it goes up and there's like different like little platforms you go on. I don't know, that was just really exciting. And then the lava part at the end where you beat Bowser, there's also like a little lava section there, isn't there?
What, the third boss fight?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, you're always like launching him into lava, right? That's what you do.
Or yeah, you just launch him off the platform, but yeah. So definitely have to put that one on the list.
Yeah, I thought about putting the desert one on here, and I thought about putting the freaking lava level on here too, but I was just like, do I really like those? Do they really make the top 10? I don't know.
They do for me. They're certainly frustrating, but I also think it's really rewarding once you do get the stars at the end.
All right. Donkey Kong Country Returns. this game gets brought up a lot on the show, both this and Tropical Freeze, but they're just freaking amazing games from Retro Studios. But I'm going to choose Blowhole Bound. Heck of a level name there, but it's level 6 from World 2. And World 2 just happens to be called Beach, so you could choose any level from this that you wanted to. So while you start out on the beach in this level, you actually come to the end of the line pretty quick, and you have to jump onto the back of a whale. And I love that idea. And while you're riding the whale, you come across plenty of crabs, and there's like squids flying through the air for unknown reasons. Some of them are electrical for unknown reasons. And you got to dodge them or kill them or whatever. And in your way, there are pieces of pirate ships, and you're just anxiously trying to get back to your whale. It's one of those levels where you spend your entire time trying not to fall off, and sometimes you'll get back on dry land, but you have to move fast to get back on the whale. One of those levels, you see it a lot in Mario games, minus the whale. This is just one example of how like the game mixes it up from time to time. They do a great job. Sometimes they have those barrel levels. Sometimes they have the minecart levels. And sometimes you get to ride on the back of a whale.
Hey, nothing wrong with riding on the back of the whale. That's awesome.
Yeah. Retro Studios absolutely killed it with this game. And, so this one was on Wii. But if you haven't played it, it's also on 3DS.
I have not played that one. I haven't played Tropical Freeze either. I know I'm really behind on the times, but I do like the original Donkey Kong Country, so I imagine these ones are pretty good too, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. I wish we could play them online.
Oh, man, that would be awesome. Well, you never know. Okay, my last one, speaking of Donkey Kong Country, is Lava Lagoon from Donkey Kong Country 2.
Okay.
So that's the game featuring Dixie and Diddy, not Kitty or Donkey. Not to get them confused. Okay, so this level is technically an underwater level, but it's like kind of also a lava level, so you might disqualify me for this one. But the level starts off, right, and it's in lava. But then, for whatever reason, if you bounce on a seal's back, it spits into the lava and it turns it into water. I don't know why, but I don't know. Because it's like lava lagoon, like lagoon water. I don't know, but you jump on a seal and it spits in the water, right? And it turns the lava into water. And it's like one of those levels where you have to keep hitting the seal because the water will keep turning back into lava at a certain amount of time. It sounds ridiculous, but you have to keep jumping on the seal for whatever reason. The seal's got like purifying spit. So the gameplay of these Donkey Kong Country games are seriously second to none. Like, they're so much fun. They're frustrating, but so rewarding when you get to the end. And the platforming is just it's top notch. But it's like one of those levels that's really long, so it's like you're constantly thinking like, oh my god, is it over? Please be over. I don't want to die and have to start this all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of those levels are. And then the little critters in the game, like Donkey Kong Country, while we were playing through it, there's like so many different critters and they have so many fun names. I don't think these guys have any names, but there's the seal like I already talked about, but there's also little puffer fishes, and there's those scary like orange like piranha fishies that'll follow you, and there's also stingrays. That's so fun. So it's like underwater. I don't think any of these can actually live in lava, but they do. And then of course there's your trusty steed, the swordfish guy. You ride on
guard.
him. Yeah, On Guard. See? Fun name. But yeah, like I said, super fun level, but it's like super long, but also really good and really satisfying to get to the end. And you finally beat it.
I looked it up while you were talking. Yeah, I freaking love that level. That was such a cool idea. I don't understand the spit. I don't understand it at all, but really cool idea.
It's a little ridiculous, but it's also fun. It's like, yeah, why would we question it? It's a seal. He spits in water. Don't know.
That was a pretty good last one to wrap it up with, but mine's going to top it.
Ooh.
There's this game, Guitar Hero 3, and would you say that Texas is often referred to as being as hot as hell?
Yeah.
I would.
I'd say so.
I would as well. There's this final battle in the story mode of Guitar Hero 3. You literally fight Satan. His name is Lou, short for Lucifer.
Yeah.
And that is 100% a summer themed level.
That's
Oh
a
my
good
gosh.
one. You're right. That does top mine.
I was really excited about that. So yeah, you fight Satan himself. This game only had 3 or 4 boss fights for some reason, but I definitely think it should have had more because they were a lot of fun. But in this battle, it's your player that you chose for the whole game, and you're just fighting him with a metal version of the infamous song "The Devil Went Down to Georgia,"
Oh, I was just about to
and
say, don't they play that song? I love that song.
it's so good.
Absolutely
Um,
love that song.
no Guitar Hero ever topped this game, and it sucks. It sucks that Guitar Hero doesn't like exist anymore. This was an absolutely epic ending to an epic game. Definitely recommend it, and I think I'm gonna have to put Guitar Hero 3 in after this podcast because I am just really hyped up about it now.
Oh, that was such a good one to end on. Ugh. Well, you're right. You beat me.
Talk to me about some honorable mentions.
Okay, I actually have a bunch. So you already mentioned, but Shifting Sandlands from Super Mario 64. I love that level. To me, going into the pyramid just seemed like so amazing. It's like a level within a level, right? And getting to the pyramid can be a pain too, because there's like the little fire guys, and there's like obviously the sinking sand everywhere. So getting to that was always a challenge, but always super fun. And then there's like the thwomps on the inside, and it's like actual like an Egyptian pyramid. That part to me was fun. Instead of going like sandboxy like wide, it's like sandboxy up. If that makes any sense, so you're like going around on little platforms like up to the top. I always thought that was super fun. So honorable mention. Next one, Tony Hawk's Underground, Hawaii. Obviously Hawaii is like tropical and like beachy, but like there's this one, and it's so stupid. There's this one little beach, and there's the one little part. There's like canoes or like tiny little boats in the water of the beach, and you can grind on it, but you have to like time it perfectly, otherwise you'll fall in the water, and it's like, oh, you drowned, or like whatever it says. I can't remember. It's like, get lost, kid, or like, get out of my backyard or something.
They always have funny stuff, yeah.
When you fall down, but if you nail it, it's awesome. And then I didn't put this one on the list because I didn't have enough really to talk about it, but it's the Great Bay from Majora's Mask. If you play that game, you know that game is like really creepy and dark, but also like comical, but like not in like a good way, you know what I'm saying? But I just remember playing at the beginning of this level, and you go to like this beach town, or not really a town, it's just like a beach, like one little boat and like one little house. Anyway, and you find a Zora like drowning in the water, drowning in the sea, and you help him to shore, and he's like, oh, these might be my last words. He plays like a sick guitar solo, and then says something about stolen eggs, and then he dies, and then you steal his face in the form of a mask. That's like, it's just, I was like, what did I just play? Like, what is going on? But obviously there's like a dungeon and more stuff in there. I just don't remember that much about it. The next one is also Zelda. It's the Fire Temple from Ocarina of Time. I haven't played this game in a while, so I really don't remember like the dungeon and all that. But I do remember the final boss of the dungeon, which is Volvagia. And it's like instead of like a winged dragon, like a Charizard kind of deal, he's like a snaky dragon, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So he just kind of like snakes around the level, and it's kind of like a adult version of whack-a-mole, right? Because you're on this platform, and it's got little holes of like little lava, and it'll like snake out of it, and you gotta whack him with your fancy hammer that you get from somewhere in the game. I can't remember. But anyway, it's just whack-a-mole, and then he dies. He flies into the sky, and then he like convulses, and then he turns into bones and falls around you. That's nice. The next one is a water level. It's Seaside Kingdom from Super Mario Odyssey. I know you said you don't like water levels. I love water levels, but I try not to put them on there that much. But it's also like takes place on a beach, and the enemy is like a giant like squid octopus guy. He's purple, and he's got like English curls. You know what that means? Like those stupid wigs that the founding fathers used to wear, like those curls. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about? That's like his thing. And the underwater parts of this level are beautiful. There's like coral, and there's seaweed, and there's like little fishes swimming around, and you have to collect coins and stuff. And you get to explore underwater, which is the exploration of the underwater is so much easier than any other Mario game I think I've played. Like, if you're controlling water in Super Mario 64, controlling underwater is kind of difficult. I mean, it's not super intuitive. Jumping out of the water, not super intuitive. This one, it was like smooth like butter, if that makes sense. Like, you're cutting butter with like a hot knife. That's how I would describe it. Right? The controls are just that great.
Absolutely.
And you get to capture a fish in this level with Cappy by like throwing the hat and stuff. And you can just swim around as fish. And then you also can capture the tiny octopus in like a water bubble. And you can blast yourself around the level, which I thought was super duper fun. You can like blast yourself straight up or blast yourself, you know, like horizontal, like across the water.
Mm-hmm.
That was super fun. And then my last one, which I thought of while we were recording, is the Samus's level from Super Smash Bros. The first one's like the platform, and there's like 3 tiny platforms on top, and the lava level like rises and falls and rises and falls.
I think it's called Brinstar, but yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember the name, but that was also a super, super fun little, I guess you call them platform stages in the original Super Smash Bros. Super annoying, but you could also get some really good kills with it too. You just got to utilize it correctly. But yeah.
Nice,
Don't
nice. I was trying to think of how I could add some Metroid into my list, but I didn't come up with anything. There's probably a bunch in the Prime games too that I could have had in here, but that's all right. So one thing that's not really a level I wanted to mention, I've talked to you about it before, I think, on the podcast, but if you go through this really creepy level in Rayman 2 and you get to the end and you talk to this dude, he's like a magician dude, he takes you to his treasure room and he's like, all right, look, I can make you rich, or I can give you what you really came here for, which is like this medicine for your homie who's like dying. And if you choose wrong, meaning that you want to get rich, then the game ends. It shows Rayman really fat on an island, like laying under a palm tree with like all his money, and the game ends. It's hilarious. I think it costs you a life or something. I don't think the game actually like starts you from the beginning because that would be cruel. But
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Who
would have thought?
Yeah. Other honorable mentions. I wrote down Tropical Freeze just because the entire game. Hello. Animal Crossing, same thing. But I mentioned Animal Crossing in the last episode, the winter episode, so I didn't want to bring it back here. Plus, I'm more of a winter person, so it would have been contradicting, I think. Venice Beach, you mentioned it. I wrote down Cinnabar Island from Pokemon Red and Blue, or just Pokemon in general. Well, yeah, I guess Gen 1 would be the right terminology there. But Cinnabar Island, I always thought was freaking awesome. It's like, I was a big fan of Blaine. Did you collect the cards growing up?
Nope.
Okay. Well, you could get special trainers cards in Pokemon, and Blaine is the 7th gym leader of Pokemon Red and Blue and Gen 1 in general, and yeah, I had a lot of Blaine's cards. There's freaking Rapidash, Blaine's Moltres, Blaine's Arcanine. Like, I thought there were so many cool fire Pokemon that he had, and the island itself was just a big like mystery. It's the only island really in the game, and it's like off in the corner. You can't access it until you've got Surf. It's the 7th gym in the game, so it's really late into the game. I just thought it was really cool, and yeah, I almost threw that one in here. Super Mario Brothers 3, I was thinking about that angry sun that swoops down at you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I almost threw that one in here too. There's probably a lot of desert levels in Mario 3. And any of the Bowser's Castles levels from Mario Kart could have made this list for sure.
Yep, definitely. Actually, I thought of another one while you're talking.
Oh, go for it.
So it's another chapter from Paper Mario, but it's also a desert one. It was so mysterious when you were playing through it the first time. It's like it's supposed to be like creepy and like dark and scary, but really it's just like a castle kind of structured ruins built in the middle of the desert, and you have to get like a special gem. I can't remember exactly, so don't yell at me. But you have to find like a gem, and like beeps when you get close. Beep 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 beep. Like when you get close to the castle, because it's like buried underground. And so when you get close enough, you do something, and then it comes out of the ground. It's supposed to be like creepy and scary. And there's like the spiky little guys. I can't remember what they're called. They're like the spike ball thingies that are stacked.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they're called, but yeah, that level's super duper fun. That's probably my favorite level in Paper Mario 64. Now that I think about it.
I almost threw a 1,000-year door level on here until I realized I hated it. It's like that one where you get on this island and the captain of the ship, he's like a bob-omb or something, and you've played the game, but it's like you're stranded on an island, and at the end of it, there's this... Tell me when I can stop talking, Hannah. Please tell me when you remember it.
Keep going. I don't really remember.
Oh, man. I don't know. It's like a pirate level, and you're stranded on an island, and that's all I'm going to say about it. I wasn't a big fan of it, so that's why I didn't throw it on here. Was this easy for you to make this list?
It was initially difficult, because I was like, summer. Well, what does summer mean? And then I was like, okay, well, summer in Florida to me means beaches, but then I was like, it also means heat and hot. And I was like, okay, well, maybe lava will work for that. So yeah, once we like widened what was possible for a summer level, then it turned out pretty easy. Yeah. I mean, now that I sit down and think about it, like there's so many that I can think off the top of my head now. like you said, so many of the tracks from Mario Kart, like there's so many that would fit.
Yeah.
And there's more levels in Skyward Sword that would fit. Like the whole desert one would fit. I know there's just a lot.
Well, we'll see you guys in September for the fall episode. When does fall start?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I could see it being October.
Something like that.
No, but in all seriousness, thank you guys for listening. If you have any episode ideas for us, please drop a comment here on YouTube or reach out to us on social media. Speaking of social media, did you get any good responses from your Instagram story?
I did.
Oh, let's not skip that. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let me pull it up. Okay, so Luke Coates on Instagram said, after I asked, like, what's your favorite summertime level, he said, Pokemon Ruby. I played it for the first time in the summer of 2003, between the multitude of beaches, the occasional stormy route in Groudon's, the big red guy, end game drought. The game screams summer vibes to me. Reminds me of freshly mowed grass, ice cold lemonade, jumping in the pool and blasting the AC. Simpler times, really, which is what I'd say summer is all about. Reminds us of simpler times. Pokemon Ruby all the way.
That's the most heartwarming thing I've ever heard in my life.
I agree. And then, let's see. Oaken Caesar on Instagram said, gotta be on my beach farm during summer season in Stardew Valley. That's another one. Like you said, you kind of mentioned Animal Crossing, which is a kind of the same vein. It always has seasons.
I always thought Stardew Valley seemed fun.
So did I, but I feel like I'd be one of those people that gets really addicted to it for like 100 hours, and then I'm like, nah, I'm done. I don't ever want to play it again.
Yep, just like RuneScape, huh?
Yep. Don't even get... I actually played that the other day, which is... I could have put levels on there, too. There's like a wilderness. There's like... It's all sorts of lava, and there's lesser demons and greater demons and all sorts of fun things. But yeah, I will always love that game. Do you want to be friends with me? My username is catlover3013, and I played old school RuneScape. R3 sucks. Okay, anyway. Cloud9 Tendo on Instagram said, you already mentioned this, but it's Super Mario Bros. 3 World 2 Sand Trap level with the Killer Sun.
Killer Sun, he's infamous. He haunts dreams.
Yeah, I mean, he's scary looking too.
Yeah,
I almost put him on the thumbnail of this video, but I was like, he's kind of scary. He doesn't really fit the vibe. Next is Brad on Instagram says, would have to say Centennial Beach from Jack and Daxter's. would literally just spend so much time on it because it's so calming.
That's a good answer that neither of us would have neither of us have played Jak and Daxter, so that was a good one.
That is a good one. Next is... Dun, 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 dun. Jaden on Instagram says, unconventional choice, but Seaside Galaxy from Super Mario Galaxy 1. I don't exactly know for sure why, but something about that level really clicked with me. I remember constantly replaying that level as a kid, and even setting up a Lego version with my sister back then, lol. Aw.
I gotta look it up. I really was expecting you to have some some Mario Galaxy on the list, so I didn't throw any on there.
I've never played Mario Galaxy.
What?
Yep. I've never played it. After Super Mario 64, I was just like, nah, there's nothing that can top that. And then I played Odyssey, and I was like, yep, Super Mario 64 still stands on top. Hey, I tried. I tried Galaxy, and the navigating of the planets just made me sick, and I don't really like using the Wii controller for games like that.
That's all the time that we have for this episode.
And I tried 3D World. It was awful. You know my thoughts about Sunshine. Yeah. I'm just a snob, I guess. I'm a Mario snob.
I do remember Seaside Galaxy. Lots of racing. You have to race this, I'm going to say you have to race this orca, if I remember correctly. Pretty neat little level.
The big whale thing?
Killer whale, actually. That's what an orca is.
Oh, was that was in promotional images. I remember seeing that somewhere.
What else you got?
That's it. That was all of them.
Thank you guys for reaching out to us and for giving us some good answers. Jak and Daxter's on my list of games I need to play for my gaming honor, because right now I didn't even talk about it because I don't know what I'm going to focus on. I've been playing too many games, like I said. But I just started God of War, and I also started freaking Metal Gear Solid. So those are like two really important games to gaming history that I've never played. But yeah, Jak and Daxter's kind of up there.
It is
Big
up there.
PS2
So is to, I think, Ratchet and Clank. Like, I feel
Right.
like that one's kind of a classic as well.
More of a classic than Jak and Daxter, I think.
Yeah. Well, isn't there games just with Jacks? Isn't there
There's
like Jacks 1,
There's
2,
definitely a
and 3?
Daxter game. I don't know about Jax. You might be thinking of something else.
No, I don't know. Don't quote me.
Anything else, Hannah?
No, I think that's it. I will say though, anytime you want to talk or debate or just reach out in general and say, hey, how's it going on Instagram? My DMs are always open. Just don't be upset if I don't answer within like a day or two. Because, not a flex, but like, I get lots of weird messages and things on Instagram.
Don't be weird on Instagram.
But yeah, anytime you want to reach out, I'm always here to debate.
And where can they do that?
Game Girl Advance SP on Instagram.
Game Girl Advance SP, and I am at Bird Dog Gaming everywhere. Please drop a comment with all your favorite summer levels, and what other stuff do we say at the end, Hannah? That's it?
That's it. Have a wonderful day.
Thank
or
you
a wonderful
guys.
night whenever you're listening. And we'll catch you next time.
Episode 19. We'll see you next time.
See ya.